Mixed fruit. Okay, what did I want to say? My brother and the relationship, about relationship and dependency. Ah, yes, okay. What happened yesterday evening was that I asked him, or yeah, more or less forced, tried to motivate him to create a picture of him in a nearby future and fill or put a role, fill a role to what he wants to be, to play in this life. What kind of life he would like to rock, and it was hardly manageable for him to create some idea, because there were almost no ideas, and then if there was one, there was immediately like doubts.
I'm good at that
And
game.
like having an idea and immediately combining it with the questions how it is done, what is the content in this idea. So there was, for example, like I asked him several things, and one thing was like if he wants to talk about anything. And the first thing was, I don't know what to talk about now. I have no content. If I have a content, yes, but now I'm not able to talk. And I was 10 years in a club where with rhetoric speeching, and so he knows about standing on stage, and he did it already, and he likes it, but now there's no. And I was like, okay, can you imagine like seeing yourself on stage and talking about X, like something, and doing that like with a topic which is absolutely something you like to talk like 24/7? And he was like, yes. And 3 sentences later, he was like, but now I don't know what topic and how is it done, where. So his mind is trying to already find the exact way how things are made. Like not being on the surface, okay, there's an idea and let's try to figure it out somehow. No, it has to be like really detailed. Which step has to be done to go there, to reach there? What is the content? How to fill this life?
Are you saying that he's wanting to skip steps?
No, there's like an idea in him that he needs to know all steps before starting to walk.
Okay. Yeah.
And what came to my mind then during this talk was that we grew up in a setting in which we didn't learn in some way to think by ourselves. So there was the parents, which were taking a lot of responsibility and saying or giving us advice what to do and what wanted to. So a lot of control. So of course we were thinking by ourselves, but it was in a, not in a free way, closed loop thinking. So what we were born into and grown up and educated with is a system, a belief system of someone else taking in some way care and guiding. And that was what I was doing yesterday as well, in some way. Probably the kind was not perfect because it was really like distant. And yeah, he told sometimes it is too much, he cannot. He was crying. It was too much verbal force, like blood. But the mechanism behind is interesting to see myself having grown up in this, you heard it before, like this dependency, like being there for someone else to be carried, so not to be needed to think by myself, to go by myself. Like someone is caring for me, someone is telling me what I shall do. And this was so interesting yesterday to, okay, go into the future, and if you skip it 5 minutes later, no, don't worry. Just create an idea what you want to experience, what do you want to live, how should your life look like. Just dream.
Just dream.
Just dream. Be. Think the ultimate. Because it's allowed. It's just an imagination. It's just a vision. If it's coming like that, I don't know. But the universe is giving.
But even just to pause right there at just dream, you've probably been dreaming for a while, and so you can dream, right? Do you remember being at the point where like even dreaming felt challenging? Or is that
I
too
had
long
that
ago?
last week.
Okay.
So I know, I have an idea of how this struggle by the voice in the head is with this self-created hell, like doubts and not knowing what to do and waiting for, yeah, waiting in some way, like, okay, where's the next step, where's the one who's telling me what to do next.
If I take this course, will I then figure out the next move? You know, rather than like,
I think I told you something similar when we were sitting in the vegan cafe in Chiang Mai, that I see this in this relationship too. Like, I had a, besides school last week, it was in some way challenging, the situation.
tell me more.
Yeah, like being, okay, when school was over, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, couldn't move, almost couldn't move, too hot, smoking too much cigarettes, drinking alcohol too much, and worrying about the what, how to return home. When first days in Thailand, and then, yeah, having a task but part-time, and what to do with the other time. And now I really like this sharing. I like this now.
Yeah, man.
You want to try?
Sure.
Mixed fruit, kiwi, pineapple. You have to stir probably. So dependency and becoming independent is probably one of the main things which I like to master by myself, for myself, and support people in their own independency.
There's even that little mini version of that today where like you didn't immediately come to hold my hand to help me cross this part that was scaring me, and you gave me the space for me to like just be there with what I had, because I was kind of having a reminder of a scenario in Guatemala where my fear stopped me from,
The last
yeah.
gap.
And yeah, no, just simply that. All right,
The
cool.
thing is, exactly, I could have pulled you.
Yeah. I wouldn't have received what I needed to receive.
It is much more interesting to see that there is someone, and this is how education with children maybe should look like. If there's a topic, a child should try it by itself, knowing, okay, there's someone. If I really need help, there is. But if the one is constantly helping me, how does a child, how do I learn to do it by my own? And that's the mechanism in which I grew up. My brother grew up probably,
Of
and
receiving the help.
of being guided
Of
and
being
and
guided,
cared for all the time. Too much. It's not bad.
But it can be debilitating. It could create codependency.
That's it. Dependency, codependency. Yeah, because my parents needed us, or especially my mother, for her pleasure in some way. So it was,
Yeah, to be the caregiver, to be the mother, to be
yes.
the teacher.
Wow. What is this? Perfume like taste.
Banana.
Dragon fruit. Yeah, this dependency thing. So in this dependency, yeah, this manifested in different variations in my life. Drugs, gaming, work in some way. And yeah, I told you already, this journey is part of this becoming mature. Mm. And this is needed to, yeah, to walk alone, to know, to understand, okay, stop, I can do it.
Kind of off topic, but maybe kind of on topic. I found myself when we were out there hiking the canyon and going off trail. There's a part of me that also likes to be in control, right? Or
Probably.
or also be like, I should be doing my part, pulling my weight. So like initially you were the one that was navigating, right? Like basically you're like, hey, there is a loop. Let's go explore. Okay, cool, let's go explore. My need to be in control or to also collaborate is, okay, let me do my version of looking for this loop, right? But I ended up catching myself today and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I know that I have this tendency to then be like, no, according to how I think the map is, I think we need to keep going this way, not this way. And I didn't want to allow myself to create that tension. And I wanted to just be like, Conrad's guiding. Conrad seems to have really great intuition. let's just see where his intuition leads us. And yeah, for me, it was fun to totally release my need to contribute to finding the path and just
Being guided. Yeah.
let myself be guided. Yeah.
And this is called probably trust.
Which makes sense that I had trust issues because of just my upbringing. Sure.
This is trust. Yeah. Being or getting in the being control position, knowing. Yeah, this is trusting. Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yeah. Yeah, but also like being in the flow, letting things be. Because it wasn't like the loop necessarily meant, oh, we're getting a shortcut. That's not what the loop was. The loop was, we're going on an adventure.
I thought it'd be easier. I didn't expect it like that. No, for sure. Yeah, thanks for your trusting. I can see that you climbed.
Yeah.
What happened to your toe? The right big one. The right big one?
It's just water, I think. Or fruit.
I like the banana.
Yeah, banana with honey. I was like, oh, maybe I should get some honey when I get back to Chiang Mai. They're being very hopeful, the fish. They will continue to get fed. One lucky winner.
Did you see how they all moved when it was just when they saw like the thing? Yeah, trained. Ah, it's wide angle. So this is us talking about